Two. Wait, no.
Welcome to the Mental Lab with your co-host and Charming.
No, welcome. I'm excited to do this. Like, it took forever. I'll be honest. And you add depression in, and that is hard to do this kind of stuff, you know. But I'm excited to do this here with you, Tati, and it's gonna be fun.
I'm excited too, Charmy.
So, welcome guys to the Mental Lab. This is our first podcast episode. This is also a video for the listeners that will be getting posted everywhere. But I'm really excited to do this just because we have the chance to kind of like build a community and be support for other people in a way, and also kind of get support, like from feedback and stuff like that. So that's pretty exciting to get the chance to do that. Like I didn't get any sleep last night just because I was I was up, so excited to get to start this today. We've been talking about this for a while. I even tried to start a podcast months ago and I got shut down. So I'm really excited to do this and start this with you. And just all together and even have listeners and family and whatnot. My goal is just to if not to provide community for people like us, to at least kind of educate people who don't know what's going on in people's our lives. And so that's a big goal of mine. As Tati's yeah, I like what you said.
Yeah, I do. I think, it's good to have a support group and to, carry the message and to make sure everybody is able to get the help that they need.
Yeah. So, before we get started, we have to do a disclaimer, right? So I can understand how people could feel like listening to a podcast from people who are actually struggling with, adversities of mental health issues and stuff could be a bit concerning. Obviously, because some of the stuff we're going to talk about, I expect to get pretty tough and real and maybe potentially triggering for not only just us, but also, viewers and listeners. And I just want to say, we've had lots of counseling and therapy, and we're going through this kind of stuff now, and we have good support systems built up to fall back on if for whatever reason we have a hard day or hard time or whatever. And so I just want to let the listeners and whatnot know out there, if you get triggered from this stuff, and you don't know what kind of support systems you have, I would say probably first pause this this podcast. You're probably getting triggered because it's reality for you. I know just listening to lots of other people in therapy was rough, and even talking was rough. And so listening to some of our stories and our experiences might be rough. Like I said, I would say first probably pause the podcast and then seek out a friend or family member or someone who kind of knows what you're going through, maybe like a therapist or a life coach or something like that, and just kind of talk to them. Or if it's best, I don't know, just pause it and take a second, walk outside and cry or something. But a lot of the stuff that you hear in this podcast could get pretty difficult to listen to, for sure. So I just want to make that disclaimer. Also, we're being seen and we're getting treatment, so you don't have to be worried about us. Because I know some of the things y'all might hear from us might be concerning, especially for our family members and friends, because I do expect it to get pretty real as the episodes go on as well. So I just want to make sure that people know we have our support systems, that we know who we can go to. And at the end of the podcast, I'll give some links and some references and whatnot for hotlines that you guys can use. I'll just say please don't call a hotline on us for what you hear, because we are getting help and we do have things in place. So next thing you know, like in comments and stuff, it's like I'm gonna call the suicide hotline because no, look.
I'm not gonna show up to my damn house. We just watching TV.
So yeah, that's kind of the disclaimer for our episodes. I'm gonna try and shorten that and get it nice and sweet. I was trying to work on like a script for it, but you know, I barely got around to making a list for today, but I did it. I did it. So so a few things for today that we're gonna try and get into is just kind of having like a little layout or itinerary. So um, kind of next thing that's on it is kind of just our weekly catch up for things that's happened to us, things we've experienced. So just kind of like catching up with each other because one of the better things about like having this podcast with you is that like we get to see each other more often, and that's nice. Like like you're one of my best friends, and I don't get the chance to see you just as much as I would like to, and so doing that, like we actually get to hang out now and see each other, and we don't necessarily talk about everything throughout the week. So, what's happening in your week
Well, um, found out a lot that's going with my mom, with power of attorney and stuff.
this week?
I don't know what's going on with this thing. Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, she's been sick, and right now, obviously, she still has cancer, so it's an ongoing battle. But I'm staying positive for her, and to just keep her pushing through for support, everything that she needs. But normal week. Other than that, just getting through work, trying to get through the day. I come home to a dog, so it's really nice.
Yeah.
He's
And
all happy.
just for like our subscribers and viewers and whatnot, like how long have you had your baby?
Um, I've had him he's like 3.5 now. So we got him when he was a puppy, but I ended up bringing him here with me. That picture's possessed. You better be careful. But I brought him here with me. So going through a divorce and everything, it's nice to have him there and by my side. So I've had him here for a couple of years now, and
Yeah.
he's been my like joy and everything. He makes me
Aw.
super happy.
Yeah, our little fur babies
I
are
know.
everything.
So how was your week?
Oh
What's going on
God,
with you?
okay. So I had a good week last week. Okay, like I had an amazing week last week. I felt like I was extremely productive and working on my mission, my values, and my vision, especially for this because
Yeah.
like the last 2 weeks have been like
Yeah.
big for us just to like communicating and pushing forward with this kind of
Mhm.
stuff and finally starting it again
Yeah.
and like I just been feeling really productive and feeling proud of myself and like last Sunday actually Sunday night I guess Monday morning actually and feeling good and whatnot. I was like I wanted to take a bath, do my
Yeah.
like self-care and stuff, and it was nice, but when while I was doing that, I started to feel, like lonely and not just lonely. I mean, mostly alone, and I felt empty. I also felt like not in control of
Yeah.
myself and my body. I just feel like, and like this is obviously something that like you've heard me talk about before. Like, my body isn't mine. Like I feel like it's me versus my body. My feet, me versus my feelings, my thoughts, all that kind of stuff. And for for whatever reason, I mean, and like I know now, like having talked to my psychiatrist and whatnot, he just kind of explained to me like like what he's seen of me is when I start to feel better,
Mhm.
um, my body wants to stay in pain and discontent and sad and in depression just because it's easier. Like it's easier. You're much more secure
Yeah.
being sad or cutting yourself off from people because people can upset you or disappoint you or make you upset, or hurt your feelings, and you can't do that to other people if you're not talking to people and if you're sad and whatnot. But when you're happy, my body is afraid that it's gonna get hurt,
Yeah.
and so in doing that, my body and my feelings and emotions kind of took over, and like I took my knife into the bathtub with me. Don't I like I was feeling good. Um, I and it was just like I'm feeling good, but there's another part of me that's hurting, you know.
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, I was telling myself like I need to take my body back from all these different things and places and people and ideas that like control my body. And one of the ways that I've done that before, with my self harm was purging, not
Mhm.
eating, um, having sex with people randomly, all that kind of stuff. And this time, I was like, I have to do something else to get my body, even getting tattoos, because I
Yeah.
started impulsively getting tattoos just to mark my body up, just to try and like take my body back. Um, and so this time I took the knife into the tub and I was trying, I was just like putting it up to my arm, like I need to do this. Like I have to do this. Like I have to take my body back. Like I don't have power. Like I don't like the Marine Corps controls my body. My family controls my body. They want my body to be healthy, and that's fine. And like I'm not saying that there's bad things about certain ideas
Mhm.
controlling your body, but like when I was in that moment, it was definitely a lot of pain and emptiness going through my mind. Even though, like I said, I was still feeling happy. So when I was doing it, I was crying, but like it kind of felt like tears of joy. But then I was also telling myself like I'm going to do this. I'm going to take my body back, and like I just couldn't cut. I couldn't like break skin, and that was just hard. And in doing that, like I already have issues with hating myself, and in doing that, I got upset at myself for not having the courage to you know take my body
Mhm.
and do it because I'm not doing it for these other people. I'm doing it for me. And why do I let other people control my body so much and I can't? And I got angry at myself, and that's when I was so I just slid and I actually really deeply cut my finger, um, and that kind of gave me a little bit of strength,
Mhm.
which is which is bad, you know, to use my self hatred as strength against myself because of how I feel about other people. And so with that strength, I was like, I know I can. I can do it. I have to do this. I need to take my body back. And so that's when I started breaking skin and it started bleeding. It didn't bleed that much at first. And then that's when I went to go find like another blade. Got out of the tub and I went to find another blade and I was like, this isn't me. At some point, like it was bleeding so much, and I was like, "This isn't me. Like this isn't what I do. Like, bro, I don't care what other people make me feel like. Like, I am the one who allows people to control me. Like
Yeah.
that's me. So and realizing how I just started crying and crying, and I just kept doing it, until I passed out in the bathtub, and Minnie ended up coming into the bathtub and waking me up, and that's when I was like, I gotta go to the hospital or something. Like, so I got up, I went to the ER. That's obviously like that's one of the first steps in our crisis safety plan. Like, go to the ER when there is acute thing. The ER was full, and they were like, yeah, we have no beds, so you're probably waiting for a while. And I hadn't even cleaned myself up, like really, like I wiped enough off on my way out. I packed my brown paper bag full of underwear, socks, and cut strings off all my my stuff. So I was like, so I'm sure I'm going to go into inpatient and be there. So I at least want to be prepared. And I texted, my friend and my boss at work, let them know. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning though, so nobody like was awake to see that
Mhm.
stuff. But uh, I ended up leaving the hospital because I was looking at everybody else while I was there, just like there's so many people here who need those beds, and I did this to myself. I don't deserve to have one of those beds. Like So I left and I went to my friend's house. Um, and I have a key to her house, so I was able to just get in, even though it was middle of the night. And when I got in, she came over, and like we're so lucky to have good, supportive, people in our
Mhm.
lives. Um, who one like yeah, it's never a thing, but who one won't judge you. Who two understand when you say like, I don't want to talk about it. I just need this. They give that to you lovingly, and that's something that I feel like I don't appreciate enough
Yeah.
in my life. But I really appreciated her for doing that. She was like, "What's wrong?" And I was just crying, and I was like, "I just don't want to talk about it. Right now. I don't want to think about it right now." And like, I'm glad that I'm able to kind of talk about it now. I'm still having nightmares about it all week. And you know how my nightmares
Yeah.
go. Like when something happens, that's all that's in my brain for the moment. But like I said, I talked to the chaplain and like psychiatrist, psychologist, and all this other stuff, and did a lot of meditation about it. And so I feel a lot better about it. I'm still trying to work on forgiving myself,
Mhm.
which is easy but also difficult. I'm human. I do things that, and I understand. Like my body wants to be sad because it's easier. So that was my week. And I've been trying to deal with that, in the background or whatever, or like. But besides that, also, just getting all this
Mhm.
stuff set up. It was a good week, but also a hard week at the same time.
Mhm.
So, one of the things that got me through it was this song, and this is also, I'm happy to have this song of the week for this week. One thing that got me through everything this week, because I was feeling so small, was this song, "Bigger" by Beyonce. And obviously, like, I love Beyonce,
Yeah.
but the song of the week this week has to be that song. And I can't play the song, but I can read like the lyrics
Mhm.
um, that are like deep to me. Um, so she says, "Let love be the water that I pour into you, and you pour into me." And that like this whole song is kind of like her speaking to her daughter, but from the perspective of a spiritual sense.
Mhm.
And so whenever I listen to the song, especially when I was like mindfully listening to it all week, I was just thinking of it for me, like my spiritual deity I believe in is God. And so I just think about the love that He has pouring into me, to help me, help fuel me for my week. Um, there ain't no drought here. Obviously, won't ever have a drought of love. Bloom into our actual powers. I'll be your sanctuary. You just don't know it yet. No matter how hard it gets, you've got my blood in you, and you're gonna rise. And that, like, I don't know, it's so empowering to feel like, and like, not everybody obviously believes in God, and not everybody has like some kind of spiritual being or deity that they believe in. But for the most part, I know people find strength from something, whether it's their past selves, like their past self overcame so much stuff. They believe in, how much, like it's just something strengthening of like that. You have whatever love or blood or whatever from somebody else or experiences, and because of that, you're enough. Because of that, you can rise from whatever it is, and it makes you bigger than what you feel like you are.
Mhm.
And that's why I really like that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm not obviously religious, but I started to get in touch back with my spirituality. So I think spirituality is very important, especially like through my mental health. Everybody's different. Some people believe in things, some people don't.
Yeah.
I know I don't believe in anything, but with my spirituality, I'm open to hearing a lot of new things from different religions, trying new things. So it's helped me a lot through my mental health because, a lot of it I'm able to relate to in a certain way.
Yeah.
From, anxiety, stress, depression, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think, spirituality is an amazing thing, and like being in touch with something it's helped me a lot. I know spirituality is important to me, and then, with my mental health.
And so earlier this week when I was talking to the chaplain, um, she was just kind of talking to me about just spirituality, and it was really difficult for me to actually kind of
Mhm.
understand how to kind of connect,
Yeah.
my spirituality to my sense of being.
Yeah.
Just it was difficult, and I'm not sure if like other people feel the same way. Have you ever like struggled with like a spiritual identity crisis or not understanding? You know, because I just it was just difficult.
Yeah, I think so. With spirituality, it was kind of hard to connect a little bit. So when, um, obviously the chaplain that he asked me is like, "Well, are you okay if I implement the Bible in this?" He's like, "I'm not going to push religion. I'm not going to push anything against you. It's what you want to believe in is what you want to believe in." And I was like, "Yeah, no, that's fine. You can." But I did struggle to get in touch with my spirituality a little bit, how to relate. But when he was reading me certain verses or he gave me certain things to read for homework, I was able to relate to it, which was weird to me because
Mm.
I didn't know what to think of it. And I was like, well, I don't really like this because it's like, all the
Yeah.
religion, but
Right.
starting to think about it more and just reading it over and over, it made me think about it a lot and like to realize a lot more like, wow, I can relate to certain things in any way, no matter what religion it is. If somebody's reading me this or I'm doing this, it was hard at first to kind of get in touch with my spirituality, but being open and just having an open mind helped me out a lot more.
She gave me she gave me a New Testament Bible, and she gave me like some verses to read, which
Yeah.
I haven't read them yet. I'm still reading, like working on my
Yeah.
other readings and whatnot. Um, but I keep telling myself I need to go ahead and read it, and so like I think I have an open mind. It's just is one definitely one thing I'm gonna have to work on is my
Yeah.
spiritual journey.
It's a scary thing at first.
Yeah, I
It
feel
is.
I feel like thinking about spiritual stuff, like I feel like with me at least, like everything ends up coming to death. Like I was born to die. Like that's what I think a lot of
Mhm.
times about like spirituality. And I think that's one thing about this song is like she's trying to tell you like that's not all
Yeah.
you were born to do. It's just
Yeah.
die. And you're bigger than that.
Mhm.
But definitely like in my depression, like a lot of times I get to that point where I'm just like, really, what is the purpose,
Yeah.
of things? Like really. And that gets hard, like, because you lose a sense of like I guess purpose and
Yeah.
drive and reason, and then you start to feel insignificant and small and just like a number in this world. There's so many people who are living, have living, and will live.
Yeah.
And so one thing about me is like I always want to make a difference,
Yeah.
and I think when I feel like I don't, I start to make myself feel small,
Yeah.
and I start to feel like, well, it doesn't matter anyway, really, because when I die, it doesn't matter. But
Mhm.
then at the same time, it's like the legacy that I want to. It's weird. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't
Yeah.
know. But that definitely listening to that song this week kind of helped me take a step closer um working on my spiritual journey.
Mhm.
So next week is your turn for song of the week.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
And a quote of the week. If not, I've been doing a lot of reading, uh, and which is
I'll
shocking.
have something.
Yeah, I I've been doing a lot of reading.
Yeah.
'Cause when I went to inpatient back in February,
Mhm.
I started reading when I was there. The last time I read, take a guess. This is like a wild guess. The last time I read before inpatient,
A year ago? Longer than that.
eighth grade. Eighth grade was the last time I actually read a book. I've since then, when I was in high school, I spark noted everything. When my teachers and whatnot learned about spark notes, cliff notes. I'm not read the most reading, and I barely even read the spark note system. The most reading that I had done at that point was like half a chapter, maybe.
Yeah.
Like in like my senior year, I had to like read The Hobbit. No. No, I was not going to read that big book. No. But like the last book I had read before that was in eighth grade was The Giver, and that was a kind of a small book, but it was a good book. No, 1984 was the last book I read before this year. So yeah, I mean, besides like my personal fitness books for
Mhm.
school, but like you don't just read those
Yeah.
books. It's just like yeah, that's like reading a math book. You're not just gonna read like one of those like math books in high school. But um, but anyway, so I've been doing a lot of reading. So like I have a lot of quotes, I
Mhm.
guess, and I guess they're not necessarily like a motivational quote or like inspirational quote like Maya Angelou's statement
Yeah.
is like the one I have for this week. It's just a section of one of the readings that like hit me really hard. I'm gonna play it. I kind of played it a little bit earlier just to
Yeah.
you know. All right, so here it is. So this excerpt is from Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach. Brach. Brock.
I
Brack.
don't even know how to say it.
I don't know how to say her name. No.
I,
Maybe it's a her then. I don't. But anyway, Radical Acceptance is just a book about radically accepting you,
yeah.
like that you are everything, you are nothing, like you do everything, you do nothing, like that kind of thing, like just radically accepting you. Um, it's a really good book so far. I think I'm on like chapter 5 or 6, but I really like it. But this statement like resonated with me, and I just want to know like if you feel the same way. We probably do, but
Internally, I was anxious, driven, and often depressed. I didn't feel at peace with any part of my life. Feeling not okay went hand in hand with deep loneliness. In my early teens, I sometimes imagined that I was living inside a transparent orb that separated me from the people and life around me. When I felt good about myself and at ease with others, the bubble thinned until it was like an invisible wisp of gas. When I felt bad about myself, the walls got so thick it seemed others must be able to see them. Imprisoned within, I felt hollow and achingly alone. The fantasy faded somewhat as I got older, but I lived with the fear of letting someone down or being rejected myself. With my college friend, it was different. I
so yeah, that's I don't know. That just hit me so much. What do you think about that?
It did hit me too. Oh yeah, I've lost my
Yeah,
train of thought for a minute.
I like the whole orb statement because
Mhm.
that definitely is like how I feel on a daily basis, hourly, minutely. Like if I feel confident in myself, my orb thins and I allow people to get closer to me.
Yeah.
Um, but the second that any little small thing happens, that orb thickens and like it thickens so much I can't see through it.
Mhm.
Like I can't. It's like when you are just in such a low depressive like moment, even people who you love
Yeah.
and love you trying to cut through that orb and like help you out, you
Mhm.
can't even see that sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's I guess that's what I was saying earlier when I said like sometimes I don't appreciate my friends who are supportive of me enough,
Yeah.
and I think it's because of that. Like when I'm in that depressive phase, like that orb is so thick, it
Yeah.
just feels like everybody can see that I'm in this orb.
Yeah.
Everybody, no matter where I go, and again, it's an invisible orb. Obviously, like I can't like I'm not gonna walk into the grocery store and everybody's gonna see my invisible orb. But because of how thick it is and how
Yeah.
much it is, it feels like I walk anywhere and everybody's like, "Oh, he's effed up. He's screwed up." Like, and and just knowing that weighs you down even more. It makes your orb bigger and bigger and so big until it can't fit out your door and you stuck in the house and you don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to have relationships with people. You don't want to talk to your friends and family because the orb hurts you so much and you don't want it to hurt other people. You don't want like your family to feel bad that they can't, knock your orb down. You know?
Yeah.
Because that's what your family and friends want to do. So, yeah, that was that touched me that way.
Yeah.
But did it make you remember what you were saying?
Yeah, it made me remember a little bit more. But yeah, when it does talk about the orb, it's kind of like one of the same way when my depression is bad. I block everybody out, and that's it. I don't want nothing to do with anybody. I don't want to be left alone. You know, it does affect a lot, you know, the people around me, and, you know, especially at work. You know, when I tell them I'm out of it or I'm in the funk, you know, that's it. Like, I don't want to be bothered with, I want to be left alone or whatever. But, you know, when I have my good days, you know, I'm all, like, I have where I'm on top and I'm like, you know, I'm all
Right.
there and I'm happy.
Right.
And, you know, everybody, you know, around me knows that and they want to be around me like that. But, you know, it's hard when I get into those, you know,
Yeah.
phases and I'm just down and about and I don't want, you know, nothing to do with anybody.
Right. Yeah. All right, so I think that's enough about the depressing stuff for a moment.
Yeah.
Because finally we're at the main content of the show. So, and this was actually your idea of the list, which I think was
Yeah.
perfect for like a first show.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like first off, and I think I already like broke us all the way in with my week, but I think it's like a perfect, just kind of like breaker, icebreaker
Yeah.
thing into kind of everything. What?
That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So anyway, we have we have lists of things to do while depressed that are fun or fun things to do.
Yeah.
Like, would you?
Yeah, so like fun things to do to help you
Yeah.
get out of like your depression or you know your funk because you have to push yourself to do something.
Yeah. Let me find some good music to let's see.
And I got a good song for you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I probably can't play, I definitely can't play stuff that's copyrighted. Let's
Play the
go.
song Doja Mood.
Ooh.
Mood.
Oh, from Doja Cat?
Yeah.
Mood? Or
Mood.
Moo? Oh my god, no.
Go Mood.
Oh, man. Oh, what? Oh, that's super sad. Oh, nightlife. Nightlife. We like nightlife. No. We like Tapia, but yeah.
No? Or the actual one with cows, you know, the news.
Huh?
The one-
Oh, the news one?
the news.
Oh, yeah. Which
There's
one
a
was
cow
that?
flying.
Where's that one at?
No.
Was it? No, that wasn't that one.
Can't even find it. Was it this one? No.
No.
It sounds like, you know, from the movie Brave where they're on like an adventure. Just play what you're
No.
He doesn't have the music prepared, obviously.
I obviously don't. I downloaded a few. I like this. All right, yeah, I like that.
I'm digging this one.
All right, yeah. So, all right. So what we got is what we're gonna do. We're just gonna go back and forth and kind of give one by one our lists of things to kind of explain them, like our experience with them, I
Yeah.
guess, and whatnot. And then at the end of after we get all 10, because we have 5 and 5,
Yeah.
we're gonna kind of rank them in order. Hey, let me pull up words.
Yeah, I don't even have a pen and pencil to remember yours.
It's okay. So all this. So also we're gonna have a website,
Okay.
and where people can access our content,
Okay.
and where they can access our content, the things, and then visuals of
Okay.
stuff. as well, so that way they can. Is the music really loud to you?
Yeah, it's really loud.
It seems
I tell
really
you this
loud.
all the time. Oh wait, are we going in?
No, yeah, you're gonna explain.
Oh wait, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna explain your case on hiking. Not like
Okay.
yeah,
I
like
thought
why
we
you
were
like
just-
hiking,
okay.
when, and all that kind of stuff.
I did
What
hiking
helps?
because you have a scenery of nature, so it helps to. Well, it helps with like my spirituality too, because I like to get in touch and connect with nature, and like seeing everything around you is peaceful and relaxing too. You see like depending where you hike, you can go anywhere to hike. You can see waterfalls, other animals. There's bridges, mountains, everything. So it's kind of relaxing to have like a scenery and like peaceful thing. Yeah, it's nice.
My. There we go. Alright, so my first one is making like desserts and stuff for either you or your friends.
I'm gonna make chocolate chip banana bread tonight. That's why we're gonna go
That
grocery
sounds
shopping.
delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the reason why I say like at first, so like we all know like sweets help you, like especially when you're depressed.
Yeah.
Oh, and even like I don't even like sweets. Like I have
I
never
can
been a
eat cookie
person on
dough.
chocolate or any of that stuff, but like when I'm depressed, I can eat me some desserts, like
Yep.
like 3 cookies at a time. But that's a lot for me.
Oh my god.
And like I made the
Yeah.
chocolate chip cookies last night, but like sometimes though, like when I'm in my like purging,
Yeah.
like not eating thing, making food and whatnot for my friends kind of help, like feels good because it kind of gives me a little bit of purpose.
Yeah.
And so I really like making desserts and food for friends and family if I'm not gonna eat it,
Yeah.
because let's be real, sometimes I don't want to eat. I'm not gonna eat for however long I want to eat, but I feel purposeful making it for friends. All right, you next.
I did puzzles.
Oh,
I love doing puzzles because it depends on your disorder too. So like people that have bipolar or ADHD or whatever like me, it helps stimulate your brain to think. And like for people that have bipolar, your body is restless. So when it comes to trying to sleep at night or whatever, it helps stimulate your brain to think and keep going. It's a focus. It helps you focus on one thing. Like you want to get it done and you're trying to connect. I don't know. It's like it helps stimulate my brain and helps me to focus doing something.
yeah.
So it keeps me occupied.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I love puzzles.
I've been
Like,
doing them. I'm telling you.
yeah. I got another one. I started it, but then Mickey.
You can get them anywhere too. Amazon, they're cheap.
Yeah, that's why I bought that.
Walmart. I bought like 3 more from Walmart.
How big are your puzzles?
They go up to 1,000 pieces. I've been
Yeah.
doing 1,000. The
This is
more I feel
1,000.
like, the better because it helps you think
Yeah.
and you're sitting there trying to focus on a puzzle.
And long-term effects of it all.
Yeah.
Start again. There we go. All right. So, I love puzzles. So the next one I've got is redecorating your living space. Right. So one thing I find, so like when I'm depressed, I like to stay home. I like to try and think that I'm gonna get out of the house, but I really stay home. I don't go nowhere.
Yeah.
And one thing that feels good, like, is redecorating things and moving stuff around, or even like going on YouTube and finding videos of how to like nicely fold your towels or how to actually fold a fitted sheet. I really like doing that kind of stuff, and it I don't know, it kind of just gives me a new like mood or purpose in the house. Like for that moment, like all of my focus is focused on like making these things look good for me. Plus, I don't do enough things for me anyway. So and just redecorating and doing different things, it feels nice for me. So I really like that.
Are we on 3, right?
Yeah.
For the third one, I did sports. So one of my things I like to do is rollerblade. Rollerblade keeps me So a lot of times, when your depression hits or whatever, you lock yourself, inside.
Yes.
So sports helps. You're forcing you to go outside, have some motivation. Rollerblading is like my favorite thing. I'm listening to you. I just have to.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
listening
fine.
to you
Yeah,
as well.
I've had to handle some real quick.
No, that's fine. That's
So
okay.
yeah, you can keep going. That was the third one, right?
Yeah. So my third one is playing with your pets. And if you don't have pets, going to like a pet shelter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shelters, yeah.
Because pet therapy, is a real thing, by the way, for our listeners and viewers who, pet therapy is a real thing. It's just as much therapy, if not better, or whatever, as like actual like a therapist.
Yeah.
Like holding a pet, just having one, there with you. Obviously, if it's your pet, it's gonna be better. But like, I absolutely love coming home from a stressful, anxiety-ridden day and like having my baby girl and Mickey and my baby boy like there. It's so good and revitalizing. And if you don't have pets, you can go to a pet shelter and go hug those pets.
Yeah.
Obviously, like if you don't have the money or the capacity to take care of a pet, don't grab one just because you are depressed.
Yeah.
Because that's also something I've done before.
Yeah.
And that's not good. But it is definitely nice to have that pet therapy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, shelters. It's nice to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we in our fourth one now?
Yo.
Fourth one. So I did puzzles, rollerblading.
Puzzles, rollerblading,
hiking.
sports, or hiking. Yeah,
hiking.
Puzzles, sport.
So the fourth one I did. I'm trying to remember the last two I did. Video games.
Ooh.
So it depends on everybody. I like playing video games. Like, I like playing zombies. So it depends. Because video games does get your mind off things, and it helps you to focus on that one thing. Like, there's zombies, for example. You gotta go kill the zombies.
Exactly.
I don't know. I like video games because of anything of any type, like from Minecraft, whatever. It helps. It keeps you occupied to do something.
100%. I love zombies. It because like with video games, like a lot of video games, if it's like multiplayer or you play with other people, like you have the most fun you're gonna have is like with your friends and whatnot on zombies or only. But with zombies, there's always zombies for you to slay, murder, and kill. Always, whether it's the middle of the night and you can't sleep, or middle of the day and you're having an anxious like situation or whatever, it just gets my hands and my fingers moving, and like I had really bad anxiety yesterday when I was making dinner. I don't know why, but just my hands were shaking. I felt the anxiousness in my body, and then and while I was cooking, that was also kind of helping me relieve some. But it was so bad because I was dropping so much stuff because of how much I was shaking.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm just gonna go play some zombies after I finish, and it just relaxed all of it. It got my mind. The only thing I was focused on was killing zombies. And it was nice. It was good. And I need to get Black Ops 3 or 4. Which one is it?
3.
3. I need to get it.
Yeah, because you gave me 4.
Oh, let's see.
So you need 3. I only played 3.
So my number 4 is disconnecting from the world, but on your terms. Like, and again, like, and it also might be because I isolate like crazy. Disconnecting from the world just kind of makes me take all the self labels that I put on myself, off of me, and so that way I'm focusing on nothing but me. Like, I don't have to be. I'm nothing. I am nothing. When I decide to disconnect from the world, like. And it's nice because I can turn my phone off. Maybe for people like who have to work all the time, if you can take some time off, like taking mental health time off is like a necessity, and people don't do that enough. And so if you can disconnect from the world on your terms, like when you want to, and whatnot, it just you don't have anything else to do but to like have fun. And I would think, with me, with how much like I'm working on like self love and loving myself, I would think for me like if I do that and when I do it, that I'm gonna just sit in a ball of tears
Yeah.
and hatred the whole time. But like every time I've done it, there's been like I've done a lot of these things. I'll start a puzzle, I'll start reading,
Mhm.
and um and I start to feel just so much better, and like I don't feel like I'm confined to the world of social media and everything, and it's just
Yeah.
so nice. So that's one thing that I really love doing is disconnecting. Um, but what's your next one? Unless you got something on that.
So this is our fifth one, right?
Yo.
Okay, so my fifth one was volunteering. Going out so like when your depression is bad or whatever, going out and just like volunteering anywhere, it makes a difference and it does help out. A lot of volunteering stuff you can do, it's actually really fun. So like shelters, they help and like try to get animals adopted, raise money and stuff. So like, volunteering is, really nice and it helps you to get your mind off things and to go do something. To just get
Yeah.
out of the house,
I really I have not volunteered since like 2016. No, I mean I've done some volunteer work since then, but I used to like be an avid volunteer, like when I was a Lance Corporal, PH.D, that kind of thing. But yeah, I that's something I should do more often because volunteering, like you do service work, and
Yeah.
you feel like
It
volunteering.
feels good too.
Yeah, it just kind of gives. It's like you're giving to something that's bigger than you, and you start to believe in bigger things. My last one is apps. So there's like random meeting apps, not like dating meeting apps, but like Omegle, and there's this new one like Monkey, and I think there's another one like It's Me or something like
Isn't
that.
that like random like?
Yeah, it's just like it's like it's a random. It's just an app, and like all these random people just going on, and you just flip through. Now there is some nudity with some of these people, but like it, disgusting. But like I've done it a few times, and I've even done it with my friend Katie, and it's I don't know. There's just something so uh freeing because like in that on that app like you could just be whatever, do whatever, say whatever, and you don't have any kind of restrictions on yourself or nobody else has restrictions on you,
Yeah.
and you don't worry about anything. So it's a lighthearted thing that does not matter at all. And you know like when we're feeling depressed, we feel like everything we do either matters too much or does not matter enough. And I feel like going on those random apps,
Yeah.
like and just saying and meeting random people and doing random things is just like this does not matter and that's okay. And so that's nice. I really um like that. So like I said, there is some nudity. I would go with like Monkey because Monkey's pretty good with like well the people on Monkey don't do much nudity like but you get what you get. um, but all right, so our list we got hiking, desserts, puzzles, redecorating, sports, pet therapy, video games, disconnecting, volunteering, and random meeting apps. So we're gonna rank these in order from probably like most I don't know, fun or like something that like I would probably go to do first.
Yeah.
To like the last resort or last thing I would do or something like that if I'm like in a really big crisis or something. But also while we do that, there's also what's this song? It was the Decision song that I listened to. That was good. It was good background music. Oh, almost there. Almost there. It's right here. Bam. Yeah.
Hold on. What is that song by? You know that song I was singing? You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
I don't know the name of it, but that's how it kind of starts off.
Okay, so there we go. All right, so let's go. Number one, probably
Pet therapy.
pet therapy. I think so too, because we have our pets with us all the time,
Yeah.
all the time, and like if I'm crying or whatever, that's the first thing I'm gonna go to. Come here, baby girl. Like, come here, just cuddle around me. Next,
I'm trying to think what you.
I had
Oh,
desserts.
desserts.
Yep, desserts.
Desserts.
100%. Just because, like, I do need something sweet, you know. And then
3.
you said 3 is
Right?
yeah. I think 3. I definitely would do video games next.
Video games.
Yeah, just because it's just also always there as well. Like, I guess the things that we can always do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4.
Or
Puzzles.
I think I was going to say puzzles too, just because again, that for me, that's in the house, so I can stay in the house and do this instead of going out in the world.
Fine.
Yeah.
What's left?
So we have hiking, redecorating, sports, disconnecting, volunteer, random meeting apps. I think I would probably at that point, after puzzles, at least for me, I would probably do redecorating the house again. Like for me, I mean but that's just for me. Like I said, like I like to stay in the house if I'm depressed.
I said hiking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
hiking.
go.
So we can have like at least like one thing to
Just out of the house. Yeah, that's probably what I should do too. So
get out of
hiking,
the house. And then like after
and then-
redecorating.
and then redecorating. Because if I go out hiking or just go do something like that. Like, yeah, I guess we can also do sports then too. When I come home, I should, because I'll be honest, I don't shower a lot of times, especially after the gym too. I don't care. There's been days I'll go without showering, but if I do that, that's gonna get me to build up some sweat and stuff to make me shower when I get back home. And doing that, maybe I'll shave my head because I gotta keep it bald and beautiful. Maybe I'll shave my head, shave my body because I don't want that sweat and getting like stink in my body hair, and like redecorate the house and organize stuff and just kind of feel good. I got out of the house, I came back, I changed things. So like, yeah, that's a good,
What's
redecorate.
next? What number are we on now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 3 more left. We have disconnecting, volunteer, and meeting apps.
Volunteer.
Probably volunteering first too, because at that point I would want to. I mean, like, if I got to join that, I would rather give to others to make me feel better and meditate more about giving to myself when I disconnect. So I would probably go disconnect after volunteering. And then random meeting apps for fun because things don't matter. That's the last one.
And then disconnect is the last one?
No. I would disconnect after I volunteer.
Disconnect and then,
because you can use that time to meditate about the things you've done and things and what you've given to, like what bigger source you've given to.
And the last thing
That music was a perfect length because we're done, and then the last one is random apps.